Hello, friends, all of my channel visitors and supporters, you gorgeous souls out there that have made your way to Aeipathy. Welcome. I'm back again with my second in this playlist, if you're seeing it when it is first being uploaded, my second deck review, deck intro, if you will, unboxing and tarot talk through, basically. And I'm very excited for this second deck that I have received. I'm doing this with my channel being newly incepted and just, kind of getting a feel for how I want to collaborate and create here in my space. One of the things that was important to me, because I buy so many tarot decks, oracles, you name it, I have a very expansive collection, is I like to share with others, with viewers and fellow either readers or collectors, the decks that I'm purchasing and that I'm receiving, because quite frankly, a lot of them are independent or they're rarer and more unique and different and just exciting. And it gives everybody an opportunity to, first of all, see if they like the deck and enjoy it enough that they'd want to purchase it. And then it also, of course, gives you a little bit of a glimpse into, again, the decks I'm purchasing and that I'll be using and you'll be seeing on my channel. So what I have today just arrived today. I have literally been waiting for this deck in particular for months, to no fault of the creator. This is just a logistical thing. This is an issue going on throughout the world when it comes to distribution and shipping and all of that going on. So it's been a long time in the making. It's been a bit delayed, but it's finally here, and it is so exciting because I've really felt very drawn to this deck. Felt it was going to be very worthwhile and a really unique addition to the collection. And I have to say, in going through it just minimally as I have already, I feel that it is. So this is the Flora Tarot by, I believe her name is Lara Cortez. And if she happens to be watching, because what I like to do is whenever I purchase one of these decks and I'm able to be in touch with the creator, especially if it's independent, this is a wonderful way for them also to be able to, just see and get a feel for what people think of their work and to share it on their maybe social media platforms and to get more exposure and to have people see the reception, and get some free promotion out there of their body of work. So if Laura is watching, because I will send the link to her, then hello and welcome. I'm loving this deck. Absolutely think it is fantastic at every level. I'm really excited to dive into this for everybody and to just give a very honest opinion and review of what I think. So let me go ahead and just show you, first of all, what came to me in the mail. I purchased essentially almost everything that you could get. I mean, there was additional add-ons and things like a soft cover bag and things along those lines that I didn't opt for. But the only thing that I would have liked to have that I don't have is the hard wooden box that this had available to house the actual deck in. I believe in addition to this tuck box. So I actually reached out to Lara today and asked her if I'll be able to at some point purchase a wooden box, and the answer was in the affirmative, so I'm excited for that. But in the meantime, this is what came. So we of course have the deck. I did purchase the full soft cover guidebook as well, which I highly recommend. I did see that there was one other review by somebody who had the cards but didn't have the guidebook. She just had the PDF, and that may work for some. For me personally, what I would say is, even though this is a separate purchase, in addition to the cards themselves, at least as of the time of reviewing this and having engaged with the Kickstarter campaign, it's very worth it to me because it's a very large size. It's very substantial. It's been very well made and well executed. I believe that she put a lot of time into this, and it shows. So even though it's a separate purchase and it's a little bit of an additional charge, which I'm not exactly sure what it was, I want to say, like around $25, if that, maybe even less. It definitely wasn't, a super exorbitant amount. It's definitely worth it, as I said. We have the deck itself, which comes in this, pretty good, high quality tuck box. And then I also have a print that I purchased, and I believe this was only $4. So I don't believe the other review that I saw, the other unboxing, had this. So I'm excited to show you this because this is unique and very, very cute. So we'll just start there. So first of all, this whole setup, this deck, every detail is so intricate, is so, it like ties back to each other, very matchy with like the clover emblem here, which I'm loving. It has it's obviously a botanical deck, you know, it's got floral vibes all over the place, but it's also, you know, slightly minimalistic. So they're flowers, and everything is like this black and white or black and cream, almost I would say like bordering on a sepia type of a tone to it. And you know, this emblem and everything that's just incorporated in all these different areas. So on this, you know, this is just like the packaging, like a mailer for this signed tarot card. And then, you know, of course, it's on the front of the box here, embossed. It's a raised design. If you can, I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see here that that's like a three-dimensional element. It's even on the sticker. This is like a beautiful high quality sticker. Of course, it's on the guidebook as well. So just like every single detail of this to me is very well put together, very high end. It feels like it's definitely, you know, a luxurious type of a deck, I would say. I love it, especially for an independent deck. It's very, very high quality. This is what you'll get sometimes when you get decks through Kickstarter, is you'll get decks that are either really well constructed, very high quality, probably going to be higher quality than what you would expect in a mass marketed version of a deck that's brought to you by a large publisher. But then, quite honestly, there's been several times I've bought quite a few Kickstarter decks recently where like the quality wasn't totally there, and it was around the same cost as this deck. So for the price point, for everything that I got with my, you know, package, and just how everything looks just so beautiful and put together, I think it's well worth it. So just know that too. So, you know, I went ahead. This is the mailer. I'm going to keep that just because it has that emblem on there, and it's so, so cute. This is what contains the signed tarot card, which again was just a few dollars for that. It just comes in a plain envelope with a sticker. And inside, and it's random, but I trusted that the universe would give me whatever card I was meant to have. And I received the Page of Wands, which actually does have relevance to me right now. So love that synchronicity. And as you can see, this is the first look at the La Flora Tarot individual cards. Beautiful. Again, like this like cream color or off-white and black theme to it. Just really, really stunning and really classy, and actually gives me like a Victorian feel as well. Like vintage imagery, vintage botanical floral images and plant, and you know, it's just got such a very distinct vibe to it, but very, very classy and vintage and sophisticated. So, and then you can see the little signature there. So I thought that that was a very cute touch. Really, really nice, and not much money for that. So I appreciated that as well. And that's just a little extra add-on that I chose to have with the Kickstarter campaign. And then I have that forever, and that's wonderful. We're going to go ahead and jump into the guidebook before we get to the actual cards, because the guidebooks to me are always such a selling point, or not, of a deck, because, you know, really, like, the deck can be wonderful, but if you don't know how to use it, or if you don't have clear sort of direction and guidance on where the creator was going, whatever direction they happen to have taken their deck in, and their artistry and their interpretations, you know, when there's not a really good quality guidebook to sort of back that up and help you as you get acquainted with the deck, I almost don't think it's worth it. So this guidebook, guys, is stunning. Again, this took a long time for her to create. It was, I'm sure, a labor of love, especially because as I see how much content and how much went into this, I can just imagine how that had to be very tedious and time consuming. So appreciate that very much that she decided to. I actually want to say I don't believe that she intended to create a physical guidebook at first. It was just going to be PDF. And then I was so excited when she decided to go ahead and bring a soft cover guidebook, because whenever possible, I always purchase the guidebook. Just to give you an idea as well. So I own the Midnight City Tarot, which is another Kickstarter deck, which is great in its own right. And I also received or purchased, you know, a guidebook with that. And this is what that looks like. So it's, you know, substantially smaller. It's obviously not as detailed, you know, I mean, it's just, it's fine. It's nice in its own right. It's definitely got a lot of good material in there. However, the reason I mention it is because of the fact that this is just to give you an idea of how substantial this is. This is like a full-on high quality, like would be worth $30, $40 just for this book. So let's dive into it. The Flora Tarot. And again, these like vintage Victorian vibes with these oil looking paintings, or, you know, whatever these are meant to be. They're all throughout the guidebook too. Really wonderful. So again, lots of information for you. Hopefully you're getting a good view of that. We've got, you know, introductions, of course, a lot of imagery, why she created a botanical tarot deck. And there's also, when I looked this up on YouTube to get an idea and a feel for if anyone else has reviewed the deck, I did see some videos that were created by Lara about, you know, answering things like this. So those might be worth checking out as well if you're interested to know more the rationale behind the deck. Lots of like really good information about the flowers that are presented in here. Just again, the rationale for everything, how it's all pieced together. A lot of Renaissance, and again, this like very traditional Roman-esque imagery. Again, that's why I think I'm attracted to it. I love Victorian elements. I love anything vintage. I love Italian culture, being Italian myself. I love the Renaissance. So all of this just for me is like very, very nice. I'm loving all of it. It's, again, just a body of work that I think is incredible. So we start with the major arcana, of course, and this is how a typical page in the guidebook will look. So, of course, we've got the card name and the card number. We have the, on every card I noticed as well, and then in the guidebook, we have, of course, the like English version of whatever that plant name is or flower name, and then the Latin terminology. There's a quote, it seems, at the top, at least for all of the major arcana. I want to take a quick look and make sure I am not lying to you about the minor arcana. Yes. So just with the major arcana, there is a quote that corresponds to each card. And then we have it very nicely organized here, talking about the plant itself. Then the tarot interpretation, it gives you some keywords as well. And then the match, which is probably my favorite part. So the match sequence or category paragraph for me is how either the symbolism or the imagery itself, something relative to the card, ties back to the original meaning or original details and representation of the tarot card itself. So for example, with the Fool, it talks about how in the Rider-Waite edition of tarot, the Fool carries a white rose, you know, and so it just goes into talk about some of the tying in and the tie backs between the traditional tarot, because this is obviously not at all traditional. It's flowers, there's no people, but it's a really nice way to sort of create that synergy between the traditional standard tarot that we're used to and that we love, and then this new take on things, which I appreciate also. Let me just say, more Renaissance going on here. Because of the fact that when people decide to do a very different take and take things in an artistic direction that differs very significantly in terms of the tarot system, it's nice to just have some sense of, you know, anchoring for familiarity back to that Rider-Waite-Smith system of tarot that we've all come to know and understand well as a reader or as a collector. I'm sure you're aware as well. So that just makes it easier for me, and I think others will appreciate that as well with the book, that there's all of this, you know, ability to, again, sort of just have that tie back, have that correspondence to the traditional tarot as you learn this deck and how it works. So of course we've got the major arcana, all of these wonderful images. This is yeah, really great. Like, I could get lost in this book. There's so much going on. Love it. Almost Valentine's Day. We've got Cupid here, heart. These images, I'm telling you, I could just fall in love. I have, pretty much. Like, it's just really stunning. And I like to flip through a little bit before I come on camera, but then I also like to sort of just, do a little bit of this on the fly so that you get sincere reactions from me. I'm not being compensated or anything to do these. It's just more so sharing decks with you all that I happen to love. So you're getting my sincere and genuine reactions. So and some of these I noticed are in color, and there's this really nice vintage soft muted tone, which I'm appreciating very much. And then others are more like, again, that black and white style. I love like the pop of color in an otherwise very monotone, monochromatic sort of monochromatic is the word, monochromatic sort of a scheme, color scheme. So just to have those little bits of color throughout is really excellent. So we're getting now into the minor arcana, starting with wands. And that's pretty traditional. Wands is usually the first suit to come out. This is how it looks for the minor arcana cards. So each card, obviously card name, again, the traditional English naming identifier, and then the Latin version. A little bit of background on the botanical aspect of the plant or flower, then the keywords, and then again the tie-in for the traditional tarot meanings. And after wands, we have a little bit of a departure from the traditional sequencing of the minor arcana suit. We have pentacles, so another of those high color muted tones in the imagery. Beautiful. So we have pentacles, and it's going to be the same thing again. So love this setup. I love, again, these little added details where they just incorporate and infuse these touches of these botanical vibes everywhere with these florals on the edges. Like, who does that? That's just really, really beautiful. In terms of readability, I think that each of the cards in how this is created, again, this had to have taken a lot of time because there's really just so much content here, but everything is very easily readable. It's in a font that is really easy on the eyes. It feels really nice in the hands, even like it opens up very easily. It's a soft cover, which means it's very flexible, bendable. It's going to be very easy to care for. It's not something that's too stiff that you can't open it and work with it as you need to. But again, high quality pages as well, nice good thickness, everything just very pleasing to the eye. So far I haven't really discovered many typos. She did indicate that there was a few, which I don't need to go over, but I haven't seen much yet. Mostly everything just looks really good to me overall, especially for how much time this had to have taken. Love these images once again. We then have cups, which is next. Some of those same descriptors and the same kind of organization of the cards. And then we have swords are last. And then we get into a couple more of these vintage images. And then we have something a little bit unique here. And for me, there wasn't a whole lot of content in the book on these 3 extra cards. I like this black and blank area of the guidebook, though. It does reference the time period in which this has been created, kind of what's going on in the world, and just a little bit of, like, I think a foreword or, something, just an additional kind of mention from the artist on, some of the specifics of the deck, like again, the motivations for it, what's going on in the world, how that plays into things. And then we have the introduction of these 3 distinct cards that are unique to this deck. We have Flora, we have the Seeker, and we have, I just saw that it's luck, but make it lucky. It says love there, faith, hope, and then luck at the bottom. And obviously luck is very heavily present throughout this deck, utilizing the 4-leaf clover as its main symbol. So anyway, I think these are very interesting, unique cards. I did look at them, obviously, when I pulled them out of the actual deck itself. I believe Flora, what I read, a little bit of background on her, is she's almost like she's a fertility goddess. So she's similar to, I would say, like Venus. But there's Flora and Fauna, which are twin sisters that are both fertility goddesses that represent abundance and obviously fertility, blossoming. It even says sex. So that's just something interesting there. The Seeker, pretty much what it says for that is me and you and everyone we know. So that's interesting, right? Not a whole lot, at least just in my skimming on what that card is. So maybe there'll be some more depth and clarity on these two in future, maybe a different edition of the book or after revisions are made, not sure. And then Make It Lucky, just like a really, probably a card that just represents abundance. So it says the questions you ask will shape your life. So just nice to have those extra cards, even if I don't fully understand their meanings. What's great about that too is then you can just ascribe your own meaning or significance to those cards, whatever evokes for you from your intuitive state of mind when you're reading them. And then we have something called Further Reading, which is sort of the end of the book itself. A couple more images. Really nice. This Further Reading, to me, looks like, again, like footnotes or citations or something to that effect, but it just gives reference points to a lot of the, looks like at least the major arcana. Or is it all of the cards? It's all of the cards. Wow. So heavy, heavy citing for each of the cards, giving credit where it's due. Oh. So try as I might, Alexa always seems to go off when I'm recording, so I apologize for that, but you know, she just wanted to chime in. So yeah, there's just for pretty much every single card, it looks like there's a ton of information on that. I guess if you're interested to know where it came from, or again, further reading as it indicates. So just so much content. Lara did an incredible job with this book. I'm so glad she decided to do that. So just know that's very, very appreciated from people like myself. Any readers, anybody who really wants to, and I'm talking readers like in reading actual literature, and anyone that just really enjoys to have a very extensive guidebook with their deck as an accompaniment. This is the deck for you because this provides that definitely, and there's just so much effort that has gone into that book. It's really, really incredible. So here's the deck itself. I've gone ahead and just, you know, I wanted to keep that sticker on there because it's so beautiful. So I went ahead and just made it where I could open that up. Loving, again, all of the little touches. It says, Make It Lucky right there. And it's beautiful floral imagery once again. And if you can see here, oh, the Fool. As you can see here, if you can look inside, you know, there's even like beautiful printing on the inside of the box. Again, like who does that? That's just so, every detail is blowing my mind. Okay, so as we get into the cards themselves, and I have them upside down. First of all, these are the card backs, once again featuring this beautiful, beautiful black and white imagery, the 4-leaf clover. The cards themselves are very, I guess you would say they're light, but they feel very nice in the hands. They slide very easily. They have a thicker sort of a linen feel to them. Let me see if I can actually get one of the cards for you. And I want to, if it'll focus and show you, you can see there the texturing of the lines. If you can see, you could see it better on the front, but the cards are very, you know, like they're not going to bend up and the edges aren't going to, you know, tear or get bent out of shape very easily. Quite honestly, I've created several decks and utilized like what they call a superior smooth finish to them, which was something similar. So it's almost like a plastic feel, but as I say that, I don't want you to think that they're too stiff that you can't work with them. Like they're very, very pliable and easy, you know, to work with in the hands. You know, if you can see here, I'm going to try to, how can I do this on camera? So you see, like they're very, very easy to move, and at the same time they're very like slippy, slidey, but not too much that they're going to be difficult to work with. It's just a very nice feeling card. Again, higher quality, that superior smooth finish that I utilize as well for my decks. That's not the cheapest option. So these are definitely cards that are going to last and stand up to regular use. So we have the Fool here, obviously, for the major arcana. Let's do it this way. All right, we've got the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress. As far as I could tell, all of the, deck titles, deck names are accurate, and the numbering system is accurate as well. I also appreciate, and I'll get to it in just a moment, we have the Hierophant, the Lovers. Hopefully this is focusing for you. We have the Chariot, and then this is what I was getting to. I love that Strength is the traditional number 8. That's how I feel it should be. It's a little weird to me when it's the reverse, when Strength is 11 and Justice is 8. We have the Hermit. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Love that a bird is featured in that one. It's pretty unique. We have Justice. We have the Hanged Man. Can you see those? Hopefully you can. We have Death. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. You know, as I look at this, I almost feel, just as I'm looking at it, just a small critique, I feel like this more to me, I associate with the Devil, with that serpent snake energy. But, you know, there's obviously a reason why they chose what they did. It still works. The Tower's pretty, can be insidious there. We have the Star. This flower makes me think of a star. It's beautiful. The Moon. And I'm sure there's reasoning behind why each flower was chosen or plant was chosen that I'll discover in the book as I go through. The Sun, Judgment, and the World. So we get into the minor arcana, starting with, again, the Wand suit, which is usually first. Everything is in standard order, beginning with Ace, ending with King. So you can see, again, just these black and white sort of images. And something interesting to note too, what I really love is that for each card, you have the traditional name at the bottom. And then again, it's the name of the plant on one side and then the Latin terminology, the Latin name on the other. So again, just with the details, with the sophistication of having this elevated sort of presentation to the deck, it really, to me, just, there's a lot of effort that went into this, and it feels really great to own a piece of this. It's definitely my style, because if I created a deck of this nature, I would do it a lot like this. So I'm glad that someone else took the time to do it, because it's definitely worth being out there in the world. It's really, really great. We have the Pentacle suit. Each of these images, it'll be interesting to see in the future with actually using it to read if, you know, these flowers actually give off any intuitive hits for me as I'm reading. The Cup suit is next. So after Pentacles, which normally Pentacles are not second, normally it's Cups, then we have Cups. And that's fine. Doing things a little different is just fine. And then last, we have, of course, the Sword suit, which I'm fine with. Swords are my least favorite. So there's those images. And then we're going to get into those extra bonus cards. So this was at the back of the deck. We have a black card, just plain black. You know, looks like a regular tarot card, but it's black. We then have a white card, again, same backs, but it's almost like inverted. See, so on one side it's the black clover, and then it's the white imprint of that same clover image. We then have a completely white card, again, same backs. And then we have those three, the Seeker, Luck, and Flora. I'm not sure why these are there, if it's just decorative or whatever. I still love it. It's just different, something really unique. Again, another special added touch. Really, really awesome deck. Absolutely adore it already. I haven't even used it yet. As you see, I've just gone ahead and kind of taken a little bit of a walkthrough myself and then done so for you here on camera. What I'm going to do now, which I do with each of these deck intros, is I'm actually going to go ahead and do a pick a card, a mini pick a card style reading if you've made it this far. Wonderful. Just so that you can get a feel for how the Flora Tarot actually works, how it reads, and how you can expect to see it, in an actual reading format. So what I'll go ahead and do now, just take a break, shuffle through this, see how that works, set up the piles for you, and I will come back in just a moment and you can choose a pile for a special message featuring the Flora Tarot. Okay, so I've gone ahead and set up my 3 piles, and just to give you an update, I have now shuffled obviously thoroughly the cards themselves, and a couple of things to note. So I have pretty small hands. For that reason, I do not really riffle shuffle traditionally. I do more of a like side by side, like so, and that was pretty easy to do. As I say that, then there we go. They feel a little bit longer than a traditional tarot card. So for me to do like this is kind of, as you can see here, messing up my setup. It's kind of straining my fingers a little bit, like making them be a little bit wider to achieve holding that correctly. So with that, it's going to take some getting used to. If you have smaller hands, you may encounter the same, but overall feels very good in the hands. I even think that it also feels really good with that, again, linen texture to it. So they feel a little bit slick in the hands, but I didn't notice any sort of like, it's sliding all over, slipping out when I didn't want them to. They just feel, again, really high quality, really easy to work with, just slightly a little bit big, but otherwise a very, very simple deck. And again, I think that that's going to loosen up with time. I'll get adjusted to working with it, even as I'm doing this, more and more, a couple times. It's getting a little bit easier. But just a substantial deck, lightweight though, but definitely easy to work with, easy to shuffle. You shouldn't have too much trouble, especially if you have slightly larger hands. You should be able to riffle shuffle that, no problem. So we've gone ahead and set up 3 piles for you just so that you can get a nice little bonus here for watching this review and this unboxing of the Flora Tarot. It's a special message from the deck. Go ahead and pick whatever pile is drawing you in. These are all the same stone. This is selenite hearts, but of course, you can choose based upon the actual deck itself, or excuse me, the pile itself. If you like pile 1 always, go ahead, select pile 1. If you're drawn to the crystal, the different sized hearts, maybe that's how you can select it, or even the timestamps. And then I will see you at your pile for your mini message and mini pick a card reading from the Flora Tarot. Hi, pile 1. So if you were drawn to probably what is the largest of these selenite hearts, then this is your reading, your special little mini pick a card message from the Flora Tarot. And what we have for you is actually the same card that I received the signed copy of. We have the Page of Wands, we have the Moon, and we also have the 10 of Wands. So this is a very interesting message coming through for me, pile 1. What I'm feeling for you, obviously with the Moon being central here and weighing the most, being major arcana in the spread, whatever has been either confusing to you or not feeling like it's been revealed to you yet, something to do with a burdensome or challenging circumstance in your life, something difficult that you've been working through, that's really pushed you to your limits. Again, something that maybe has surrounded a lot of high intensity emotion, highly charged emotions, or even an element of secrecy or something being hidden, not fully revealed to you yet. It's looking like there's about to be an important sort of shift in that situation, or an important message coming through for you with this Page of Wands. There's definitely just going to be some type of a shakeup with this situation. And obviously I'm feeling with the Page of Wands, which is usually a very exuberant, It's meant to be a good news type of a card. I think that what's going to be coming in or what's going to be clearing up for you and coming through is going to provide a lot of clarity and going to bring you some peace as well, pile 1. So think of whatever you may be dealing with in your current life circumstances in your 3D world, maybe materially speaking, or something emotionally. It could even be love related that you've been challenged by or feeling a little bit overwhelmed in regards to. And then just think of what it would take for you to feel a release and a calming regarding that energy. And I think that that's what's going to be coming in for you. That is what the LaFlora would like to tell you today, the LaFlora Tarot. I've loved so much doing this full tarot talk through, unboxing, and review, as well as your mini pick a card reading. If you have enjoyed this mini reading and this deck review, I invite you to check out the rest of my channel, my playlist, which I have many feature full pick a card readings. I like to post pretty frequently. I am a brand new channel, but every little bit of interaction, energy exchange by liking, sharing, subscribing, and visiting me, of course, again for a future reading is appreciated. I love to connect with you all. And until next time, Pile 1, take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your mini pick a card reading featuring the wonderful and beautiful LaFlora Tarot. This is your special message from the LaFlora Tarot today for you. And we have the Knight of Wands. We have the Emperor. And we also have the Nine of Wands. So Pile 2. What I'm feeling for you is that there's been something that you've resisted sort of taking on in your life, whether this be something that's a challenge. It's definitely something that would be an expansion beyond your current circumstances. Goal-oriented, it's feeling for me. Something that affects probably your material or real sense of security with this Emperor energy. This for me is feeling a little stagnant, a little stuck, a little grounded and rooted in where you're currently residing. And then this Nine of Wands is a hesitance to sort of move forward, to come out of that comfort zone, even though I think you see the potential and really strongly what abundance lies within making a change to your current situation. And yet again, there's this hesitation, there's this apprehension or hesitance to take that next step forward and to actually pursue something that could be really of value to you, but would require a little bit of growth and strategy, as well as courage and confidence to pursue. But we have a little bit of that confidence and that more assuredness. I think that impulse, that inspiration from the divine to move forward towards that energy with this Knight of Wands here. This is going to be someone who's really again, divinely guided and just ready to break through any blockages, obstacles, or apprehension. Again, fear based thinking, patterns of avoidance I'm hearing for some of you, and just that stubbornness, that deep rootedness and groundedness that can be representative of the Emperor. It's feeling like that's about to be released. Those roots are about to be uprooted. And if you can see here as well, intuitively, I asked and wondered this in the unboxing portion of this video, if these, flower images would intuitively spark anything for me. And in this case, they definitely are. So this image of this floral right here is completely opened up. You can see the inner portion of the flower. It's to me just representing, again, this idea of like things just opening up fully, flowing for you, this wonderful, almost impetuous or impulsive energy, but I'm going to call it divinely inspired, divinely guided intention and ability to act on something that you've really, again, you've wanted to do. I think it's something that you desire, that calls to you. There's just been a lot of unwillingness previously, or favoring security in the comfort zone over actually taking steps outside of that box to move beyond it and move into something a little different, something that may be more exciting or that really calls to you in your soul's path, your soul's journey to move forward. So for Pile 2, I think that you have something really exciting that's on the horizon for you. You can feel confident and assured in taking that next step. You are being guided by the Flora Tarot to go ahead and take those actions towards what you desire. Have that inspired, again, very active energy to back you up with this Knight of Wands. Come into full bloom. Everything is looking really beautiful here. Emperor energy is good to some extent, but at other times it holds us back. And that's been the case with you with this Nine of Wands presenting. Go ahead and sort of move out of that energy of hesitation, of holding back, and step into this divine inspiration with the Knight of Wands, and then take charge, move forward towards your goals and dreams, because I'm seeing that that's really something that you need to pursue right now, pile 2. So pile 2, I hope you've enjoyed this mini pick a card and this mini message courtesy of the Flora Tarot. Hopefully you've enjoyed the full unboxing and tarot talk through portion of the video, as well as your mini reading. If you have, I invite you to please go ahead and take a look around my channel at other playlists I have available for you with full pick a card readings, which I like to provide to everybody several times a week. I do post content regularly here and plan to do so for the foreseeable future. And yeah. Until next time, hopefully I will see you in the future. I love connecting with all of you. I've appreciated your presence here today. Hopefully you take very good care of yourself, pile 2. And until next time, bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your mini pick a card reading and your mini message, courtesy of the Flora Tarot. If you chose pile 3 and that tiniest little selenite heart, then this message is for you. What we have for you today is the Empress, beautiful energy. We had the Emperor featured in the last pile, so that's kind of interesting. We have the Wheel of Fortune, 2 majors for you guys, and really, really abundant energy already coming through for you, pile 3. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles, so more just really loving, wonderful energy flowing through this reading for me, pile 3, with this idea of there being a shift or something that's changing for you, that's on the horizon, that's going to bring more abundance flowing into you just as much as you've given out and given to others. The Empress energy for me being number 3, being all about, again, this idea of fertility, of abundance, of beauty, of love, of just divine feminine energy. Also, number 3 relates to creation, collaboration in tarot. This is somebody who is in their power, regardless of gender, and who's just really, I think that you've been someone who's definitely given to others to a great extent, and you haven't really ever fully received that back, and also felt empowered enough and deserving of having your beautiful energy reciprocated back to you. But the 6 of Pentacles here is definitely that even and equal energy exchange. This is being in a position where you can have the ability to give to others, but where you're also in receiving mode, and you're very receptive and open to that reciprocal energy of it coming back to you. What creates that, I feel, is actually the Wheel of Fortune energy here, which can be a divine shift, of course, the wheel turning, of your luck changing, of prosperity coming in. And I love that this card features a bird. Don't quote me on this, but in looking through the deck, I think this is one, if not the only image that does not feature just flowers. This is actually an animal, a bird. And if you didn't know, birds are one of the easiest signs for spirit to convey to us. So source will, take the easiest course of action, the easiest route to be able to communicate, different messages to us, to give us signs and synchronicities to help us, guide us on our path towards, our highest good, and to help gear us and gently get us on the path of least resistance in our journey. So they send us little signs and little indications that we are on the right track, and birds are actually the easiest of those signs to come through. So this is a huge sign for you, pile 3. You may even ask for birds for other readings if you do watch full pick of cards, and I'm sure that some of you have asked for a bird. So here's your sign once again, this beautiful good luck omen that things are about to change for you. It also gives me just, again, this kind of indication of abundance, of prosperity, just of joy, of liveliness, an animal being something that's movable, that can flow and just fly and is free. Something that even was referenced in the guidebook was about the idea that flowers, from the time of their birth to their death, they are grounded permanently in the soil. So, while there's something to be said for that security, that kind of fixed state that plant life and botanicals reside in, I think that there's just something really significant, intuitively speaking, regarding the fact that this is an animal that flies, that it's free to roam and kind of go where it needs to go, but also that it's choosing to look down and look at all of this beautiful abundance surrounding it, that it's in the midst of all of this growth and this potential, um, all of this really, really beautiful scenery. And it's taking stock of that. It's actually choosing to connect with all of that abundance and really feel it and flow into that energy. I think that's what's happening for you, pile 3. You're finally coming into your power. A lot of what you've given to others, or what you've, has an outpouring out into the world energetically, is going to start coming back to you tenfold, and your luck is going to be changing. So pile 3, I hope that you've enjoyed both this full tarot talk through and unboxing of the Flora Tarot, introducing this deck to everyone. It's incredible. Lara Cortez has done an amazing job with this. And despite how long it took to get it into all of our hands, no worries, because it's just fantastic. Hopefully, if you haven't actually purchased and were a part of the Kickstarter campaign, that you will have the opportunity to do that in the future if she opens up her shop to make the decks available to others. Highly recommend. But again, hope that you've also enjoyed this special message from the La Flora Tarot to get a feel for how this deck reads. I am planning to use this deck in future full pick a card readings on the channel, and I invite you, if you've enjoyed this reading and this unboxing, to view my full playlists that feature full pick a card readings. I try to bring that content to everybody as frequently as possible, at least several times a week. So go ahead and take a little sneak peek through there and see if anything calls to you. I have lots of readings on different love related energy, just high vibrational living, healing, all sorts of things of that nature. So hopefully you enjoy, and I will get to connect with you again in the future. I appreciate everybody's time spent here connecting with me, seeing this unboxing and seeing how the deck works, and hopefully you'll look forward to seeing it in future full pick a card readings. Until next time, pile 3, I hope you take very, very good care of yourself and that you've enjoyed this message today. If you have, please like, share, and subscribe. It's a really wonderful energy exchange for these readings and for the content that I am trying to create on this channel for the collective. And then I hope again that that I get to see you again and connect some more, because it makes me so thankful, and the ability to have this outlet to share with you all. So until next time, take care, pile 3. Bye bye.